today's date is May 18, 2013, 11:24 p.m. Pacific Time. And up next, I have a dated article. It's for anyone that is interested. October 2nd, 2012 is the date. And it was by this gentleman right here. And the title is The EPA's Disturbing Human Experiments. If the shocking allegations contained in a lawsuit filed last Friday by responsible science advocate Stephen Malloy are accurate, the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, has a major scandal on its hands. As reported by the National Legal and Policy Center, Malloy initiated litigation in U.S. District Court in Virginia based on evidence he accumulated via the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. He alleges that the EPA engaged in disturbing experimentation that deliberately exposed human beings to airborne particulate matter the agency itself considers lethal. That's an incredibly important statement right there. The EPA engaged in disturbing, I'm reading it again, yeah. EPA engaged in disturbing experimentation that deliberately exposed human beings to airborne particulate matter the agency itself considers lethal. Unreal. Unreal. The experiments were conducted at EPA's Human Studies facility at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. That EPA administrator, Lisa Jackson, and I think that's her right there in that photo, permitted this heinous experimentation to occur under her watch. Shocks the conscience, said Malloy. Well, what do you think of that, folks? The suit accuses the EPA of paying as many as 41 participants $12 an hour to breathe in concentrated diesel exhaust. Oh my God. Unreal. Folks, this I can't believe this. Is this real? I'm reading it for the first time, folks. I'm just beside myself. Can you imagine paying somebody to breathe in concentrated diesel exhaust? Now that is insane. For as long as 2 hours at a time. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I have just a... The exhaust was directly piped in from a truck parked outside the Chapel Hill facility. Amazing. I can't believe this. According to the lawsuit, the fine particulate matter called PM2.5 was piped in at levels 21 times greater than what the EPA calls its permissible limit. Yet even that phrase is misleading. In testimony delivered to Congress in September of 2011, EPA Chief Lisa Jackson claimed that exposure to fine particulate matter of 2.5 microns or less was lethal. Particulate matter causes premature death. It's directly causal to dying sooner than you should, she testified at the time. Malloy learned about the experiments last year after reading about them in a government-supported scientific journal. In June, he filed a complaint with the North Carolina Medical Board accusing Drs. Andrew Gihio and Wayne Cascio, both of whom were employed by the EPA along with Dr. Eugene Chung, who worked for the University of North Carolina, of violating EPA standards of conduct in human research and the Hippocratic Oath. During these experiments, the study subjects were intentionally exposed to airborne fine particulate matter at levels ranging from 41.54 micrograms per cubic meter to 750.83 micrograms per cubic meter for periods of up to 2 hours. Malloy wrote to Dr. Ralph C. Loomis, president of the North Carolina Medical Board. The EPA also believes that PM 2.5 is carcinogenic to humans, he added. Dr. David Schnarr, a former EPA litigator who is now director of American Tradition Institute's Environmental Law Center, which filed the lawsuit, painted a detailed and chilling picture of exactly how the experiments were conducted. EPA parked a truck's exhaust pipe directly beneath an intake pipe on the side of a building, he revealed. The exhaust was sucked into the pipe, mixed with some additional air, and then piped directly into the lungs of the human subjects. Oh. EPA actually has pictures of this gas chamber. Oh no. A clear plastic pipe stuck into the mouth of a subject, his lips sealing it to his face. Diesel fumes inhaled straight into his lungs. Wow. Malloy added, some historic perspective to the mix. In the context of rules established after scientific horrors of World War II and the Tuskegee syphilis experiments, the notion that EPA would pipe high levels of PM 2.5 and diesel exhaust into the lungs of unhealthy people to see what would happen is simply appalling. He said in a press release announcing the lawsuit, it's more than appalling. It's criminal. Folks, this is criminal. Unhealthy is an accurate assessment. The 41 subjects who took part in the experiment included people who were elderly or suffering from asthma, hypertension, or metabolic syndrome. One of them, an obese 58-year-old woman with a history of health problems and family history of heart disease, experienced an irregular heartbeat, atrial fibrillation, and had to be hospitalized as a result. Another subject developed an elevated heart rate. Both resumed normal respiratory and cardiac functions within 2 hours, according to an EPA report. And it goes on to page 2. Let's check out page 2. This is unreal. Oh, I'll tell you folks, this is sick. I'm sorry, but this is sick. This is total sickness. Oh, I've never seen anything like this before. The EPA and Lisa Jackson, that is just unbelievable. Okay, so again, this is dated October 2nd, 2012, this report, and it was by this man right up here at the top, Arnold Ohlert. And all the credit goes to him for putting this report together. I take no credit for the content at all. I am just sharing it with my friends on the channel here. I thought you would like to know about this because I'll bet you a lot of you didn't hear about this. But maybe some of you have, I don't know. But I'm putting it up here because this is disturbing. It is more than disturbing. But it's very graphic, the way they described the way they piped in all of this from a truck into their mouths, sealing their mouths, and going straight into their lungs for 2 hours. Now, have you ever heard anything so over the top as this? This is what's wrong with the EPA? Friends, what is wrong with the EPA? What does the EPA really stand for? It can't be environmental pollution.